Hey there, welcome back to Creepy Encounters. In today's video, the worst thing I've ever seen. Hello neighbor. Supermarket stalker. This was a creepy encounter, and a very sad one, that happened to me a few years ago. I live in a city in the Pacific Northwest where it rains all the time from October to May. I was out one night at a party that went late, and my girlfriend, and I decided to leave at 4 a.m. I was sober, so I was the driver. It was raining hard and cold because it was autumn in the Northwest. We were driving home, and as we turned the corner around a local hospital in an area where a significant homeless population lives and stopped at a stop sign, I saw what looked like a human figure standing just outside the glow of a streetlight ahead, but the proportions were somehow off. Too tall and skinny. I began to roll forward again, but the figure ambled out of the darkness and into the light, then into the street in front of me, so I had to stop. He was facing away from me at first, moving diagonally across the street. It was a man who must have been several inches over 6 feet, and so thin he reminded me of those photos of concentration camp victims. He was completely bald. I could see his rib cage and pelvic bones and hips poking out from under his skin. The reason I could see all this is because he was wearing only a diaper, and the diaper was sagging off his frame. Liquid feces was literally dripping out of the sides of the diaper down the back of his legs. He was shuffling the way a zombie walks in a movie, with an uneven gait, moving one foot then dragging the other. He heard my car come to a stop and paused to look back at me. I'll never forget his face. His jaw was slack, with a mouth partially open, and an utterly blank expression in his eyes. This only reinforced the impression that I was looking at a zombie. He turned away and kept shambling across the street, using one hand to absent-mindedly hitch up the diaper on one hip, accidentally loosening it as he did so that it completely opened and fell off one side. Eventually he disappeared into the alley on the other side. I kept going towards my house, but neither my girlfriend or I could say much other than holy shit. For the next hour. I know he was probably a very ill man, both physically and mentally, but the encounter was so unnerving and disgusting that I literally think about it regularly several years later. I feel so terrible thinking about the many ways other human beings have failed this man in his life for him to have ended up that way. He's likely dead by now. This story happened when I was 17, now I'm 21. I'm French, so pardon my English, I tried my best. I used to live in a small city in France with my mom and my dog, in a little neighborhood where almost everybody knows each other. There were mostly old people living around me, but a few weeks before my story happened, a family moved in the house next to mine. I don't remember seeing them, I just heard children laughing and playing in the yard sometimes. Every year in January, my mom goes on holiday for a month in different countries, so my grandmother, who lived 5 minutes away, used to come and stay with me at home. But this year I was old enough to stay alone, so I did. I wasn't really sociable at this time, but my best friend Noemi was. She was always trying to make me meet new people, so we decided to take advantage of the fact my mom was away to do a party in my place. It was more like a before than a full party because everyone was going to the club after this, but I didn't want to go with them. I never really enjoyed it, and the city center was far from home, so my plan was just to invite everybody, make some friends, have some drinks, and go to bed. The night came and everybody arrived. We were 3 girls and 5 boys. I was having a good time, even if I was a bit stressed that someone breaks something in the house, or gets sick on the carpet. But none of this happened, we were just sitting on the terrace, chatting and drinking with music. Then, we heard a knock at the door. It was about 11 p.m. when this happened, so I thought it was just a neighbor coming to complain about the noise. I told everybody to stay quiet, and I turned down the music. One of the guys opened the door to see who it was, and then came to me saying, "Hey, there is your new neighbor at the door, he wants to come in and party with us." I was confused, so I went to the door to see him. Appeared to be a man, about 35, bald, glasses, not tall but a bit corpulent, with a bottle of Jack Daniels in his hand. My first reaction was to laugh, because I couldn't believe this guy wanted to party with teenagers like us, and if it was true, it would have been super weird. But obviously it was true. He told me he was new here, so he didn't know anybody, he was happy to see some young people, and just wanted to share a drink with us, which I could understand because, as I said before, there really were only old people around. I thought maybe we all looked older than we really were, so I told the man everybody in the house was under 18, and made him understand that he wasn't really welcome here. But everybody thought he just wanted to be nice and didn't see it wrong, so I got influenced and decided to let him sit on the terrace with us. I still didn't feel really safe, so I told him, please, just don't go into the house. One of the guys told me not to worry, and that he will keep an eye on him. The night was going on, Everybody was having fun, and finally nothing looked that strange. The man was talking with everybody, about basic stuff, making jokes, laughing with the guys, etc. He just seemed like a nice man, even if a bit lost to stay with underage people when you have your wife and children probably waiting for you next door, my opinion. I started to relax and enjoy myself. Then about 2 a.m., it was time for everybody to go to the club, for me to clean a bit and go to bed. They all left at the same time, and the man left too, saying he was going home. We have been on the terrace most of the time, so the cleaning was fast. I closed the windows, locked the door, I thought I did at least, and went to bed, watching Pretty Little Liars to fall asleep. 1 hour later, I heard a noise. Remember I said I had a dog. His tiny paws used to make a tip-tap noise when he was walking on the wooden floor. But I was so used to this noise, that this time, I knew it wasn't him walking on the floor. My room was on the second floor, up the ground floor, so I went out of bed, ran down the stairs and stopped. The man was here, in the middle of my house, staring at me. This may have lasted 2 seconds, then he ran out of the house, and smashed the door behind him. I called the police straight to tell what happened. They told me to close my door, and that was it. I was paralyzed, didn't know what to do. My mom was at the other end of the world, and didn't know I was having a party at home. So I called my dad, who was living 10 minutes away, but he didn't answer. I took my fluffy shoes, closed my door by key and decided to run as fast as I could to my grandma's apartment. I was half naked, running in the middle of the night, hoping that the guy wasn't following me. When I arrived, I didn't want my grandmother to have an heart attack, so I just stayed in the hallway, lying on the floor and waiting for the morning to come. I called my friend Noemi to tell her. She was shocked and told me she was coming back to me, but she had to wait for the first bus, about 6 in the morning. When the sun finally came up, I went back to my place, and all the people who were with me arrived too. They were determined to kick the ass of my neighbor. They knocked at his door, but he wasn't answering, so they broke his front gate, which literally fell on the floor. It was made with SHT wood, so pretty easy to break. Then the man came, started to shout, and one of the guys punched him in the face. That felt good to see that. Anyways. After this everybody went home. I put my ideas back to place, and went to the police to make a complaint against him. The police officer told me he was going to see him in the afternoon. After this, my dad asked why I called him at this time in the night, so I explained what happened, and he went to see the man too. The problem is, the man didn't say the same version to my dad and to the police. First, he said that he forgot his wallet in the house, which is impossible because I made sure I didn't put a single foot inside the house. Then he said he thought the party wasn't over, which is also impossible because he left at the same time as everybody and knew I was staying home alone. I still don't know why he came back, and I'm not sure I want to know. I hope this story was understandable. Thanks for your reading. Be safe and lock your door. Smile. I have been going to this supermarket since I was a kid, and the supermarket has a very low employee turnover. Because my mom can't, I now go food shopping for her and all the employees ask for her. Everyone is super polite and I am touched that they ask. Over the summer they did renovations at the supermarket and a lot of products were moved. So I stopped a guy who I can't remember a time when he wasn't working, and I just opened my mouth to ask, "Hello, excuse me, where are the olives?" He says, "Finally I knew that if I waited long enough you would be mine. I've lit so many candles over the years." He then said, "If you wait 10 minutes I can take you out to dinner." I was gobsmacked. This man is 20 years older than me. Was he thinking of me that way when I was a kid? And the way he spoke had me wanting to pull out my phone, snap his picture and send it to everyone in my family in case I went missing. That was the last time I went to that supermarket. Absolute creepy weirdo. I hope you enjoyed the video. Please like and subscribe for more real life creepy encounters around the world. See you in the next video. Bye.